Hi guys, my name is Emily, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be doing a very casual Q&A. I asked for questions on Instagram and I'm going to be answering them while I carve this pumpkin. Hopefully this is in focus. I can't tell because you're very far away. Let's get started with questions. Miles Lake asks, most polarizing author in terms of enjoyment of work. That is easily Stephen King. I really enjoy his voice, I like the writing, I like the experience of reading him in isolation by myself a lot of the times, but then sometimes they're not all winners, right? It's such a large body of works that of course you can't please everyone. So not every book is going to be a 5-star fave for everyone. The other thing is that reviewing Stephen King on the internet has made me aware of both the really excellent positive aspects of the constant reader community. It's super cool to have people from many different walks of life all over the world who read these books and bring such different things to the text. However, the most vocal of the constant readers tend to be I guess you would call them neckbeards. They tend to be humans who don't like the fact that I am a well-educated person with opinions and a woman, and that I might have some legitimate criticisms of some of their favorite works. And that's fair. We can all have different opinions, but it seems like instead of just being oh, well, I disagree with you in a very I mean, it's the internet. It's me complaining about internet culture, basically. But I get that the most from the Stephen King community. And it's always a little bit scary to post a Stephen King video, I'm not gonna lie. I'm usually excited because I'm guaranteed to get a lot of engagement with a Stephen King video. And I always wanna be honest with you guys. I wanna be honest whether or not I liked something, but when I know that you're just going to get terrible, not even critically engaging comments, but just terrible comments, it's always well, do I really have to post this? I mean, I know people enjoy the Stephen King reviews, but I feel like my life would be easier if I didn't do anything with Stephen King, which is really sad because I do enjoy his works and I enjoy talking about his works and with the folks who are nice and constructive and engaged. It's totally worth it, but sometimes I wonder if I made the right choice in ever posting about Stephen King on the internet. I don't think I was aware how aggressive and volatile that community would be. That is probably my most polarizing author. The next question is from 6 Blue Marbles. Have you ever enjoyed a movie or TV show adaptation of a book more than the book? I really liked the adaptation of Call Me By Your Name. I made a video about this, talking about the book and the film. And I was I kind of like the movie better because the movie isn't quite as devastating with where it ends. Whereas the book by Andre Aciman is very devastating when it skips to a future point in time. I won't spoil anything. I loved the book and I loved the film, but I think I liked just where the film left things a little bit more. So Jeff5501 asks, what book has touched you the most, be it characters, plot, anything? What moved you? I think a book that has shaped me a lot as a reader and that has, in that way, touched my life probably the most and shaped me the most as a human is actually Tamora Pierce's Song of the Lioness series. So I started reading that when I was 9 or 10 and had never really been exposed to any sort of progressive feminist messaging. It was very much a Disney kid. I fully played with Barbies until I was way too old. I loved make-believe. I was very much a stereotypically feminine child in that I didn't sport, I danced, I did art. I don't think my parents really pushed one way or the other. So I think my first real encounter with feminism and the idea of challenging gender was in the Song of the Lioness series with Alana, and then Alana, I guess as she's called. I've always pronounced it Alana. And so from there, it really sparked an interest in finding more books with strong female characters, and it sparked a love of fantasy. It's probably the thing that has shaped me the most as a reader today, just because like almost everything I've done since then has been exploring gender and feminism, and I feel like that little rooting with Tamora Pierce has shaped me the most as a human. So I feel like that has the most impact on me as a human, just in terms of the themes that the book brought up. It is very dated, it is very like first wave feminism, but Tamora Pierce's more recent works are definitely more intersectional, and that's super cool. Like Pierce is definitely political and shifting with contemporary politics, which I think is awesome. And yeah, so I think that's probably one of the books that shapes me the most as a human and has touched my life the most. Books Like Whoa asks, what kind of tropes, character types, etc. would you like to see more or less of in any genre? Would I like to see more or less of? I would like to see less of the bury your gaze trope. I mean, it's 2018 and I just read a book called 5 Feet Apart, in which the queer person of color randomly dies for the sole purpose of moving the female protagonist's narrative forward. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the queer characters being disposable. I'm sick of people of color being disposable. In 2018, why anyone is still publishing that shit, I don't know. And I would like it to go away. Something I would like to see less of as well is the love triangle. I guess it introduces tension, but it's so overdone, and I feel like very few people in real life have legitimate, like, confusing interest in multiple people. Like, you might have somebody who, like, has your affection, but I feel like most people are capable of choosing, and you don't need to draw it out or have this tension and confusion. And if you do, I guess it sucks to be you, or maybe it's great to be you, but I don't know. I'm also done with the love triangles. Andy the Word Slinger asks, given your impressive academic credentials, just how long did you attend university, and your obvious passion for books, what is your dream job? Book editor, teacher, literary agent, proprietor of a quaint little bookshop, owner of a small publishing house, owner of a big publishing house. I could see you doing extremely well in any of those roles. Thank you, Andy. That's very kind. So to answer your first question, I went to school for 5 years. I did a 4-year undergraduate degree, so that was a Bachelor of Arts at the University of Western Ontario. I took a year off. I worked in pharmacy and was trained on site to be an unregistered pharmacy tech. So I did that for a year, and while I was there, I applied to do my Master's of Arts in English Language and Literature at McMaster University, and I did a full year, a 1-year, 12-month master's program, and I chose the thesis option, so I did school for 5 years. My dream job would probably be to do a master's in publishing. I would really like to take the master's in publishing at Ryerson because they have a children's lit module, and I would like to work in the publishing industry, publishing children's books for a little bit, and then go and do my PhD on children's literature and think about how, like, having worked in the industry and been privy to conversations, because one of the modules in the children's lit masters is like censorship in children's books, like what gets published and how publishers decide what is appropriate for each age group. I would like to then do a PhD looking at children's literature based on my experience in the publishing industry, and so do a 4-year degree, well, ideally a 4-year PhD, writing about and thinking about children's literature and censorship in children's literature, possibly sex in children's literature. I mean, the dream job would be to then teach children's literature courses and just engage with folks in the academic bubble and possibly online via podcasts and YouTube videos, and think in ways that are accessible and also still critical about the texts that we are consuming and what these pieces of cultural production say about our society. So I think that's the dream job. I don't know how possible all of that is. I am really interested in going back to school for that master's. The idea of owning a quaint little bookshop, I think that would be super cool too. I would love to own a used bookstore / maybe also coffee shop, and like make it a real community space with like board game nights and like, I don't know, open mics, those kind of things. Like I think owning a small bookshop that like doubles as other things could be super cool. I don't know how to run a business, but I think that could be fun. I keep saying, like when people ask me what I want to do, I keep saying that I want to work with the books, and I think that's still true. I'm a little bit lost because I don't know what that like means for me in actuality at this point. Because I spent so much time and money on the schooling that I have. I don't want to work in retail forever. Like I think I would like to try for something more in my field. Like as much as being a bookseller is in the, like technically in my field, I worked with the books, I'm now working with the books. I would like to try to use all of that passion for something. I guess the dream job, you have it. The reality remains to be seen, but thank you for your question. Macarena Oyars asks, what's your favorite book, TV show, and movie for Halloween? So my favorite Halloween book, I don't really have a book that I return to every year, but one that I read this Halloween season was Salem's Lot by Stephen King. That was fun. My favorite TV show that I watched this season was The Haunting of Hill House. It is very loosely adapting Shirley Jackson's novel of the same name. I deeply, deeply enjoyed that. I enjoyed being scared. Like I know my partner didn't like it because it was just a lot of jump scares, but I totally liked buying into that. I had a lot of fun. And Halloween movie, the movie that I return to every Halloween, and like it's not Halloween if you don't watch this, is Hocus Pocus. Like every Halloween we sit down with the fam and we do that. So that is tradition. Nels TR asks, do you have any nicknames? How did you get into YouTube? Favorite horror film, favorite Stephen King book, and why? So do I have any nicknames? I don't really have any like serious nicknames. How did I get into YouTube? I honestly was thinking like, what should I do with my English degree at the end of university? And I was like, oh, I'll make educational videos kind of in the style of Thug Notes, but specifically for things on the Canadian curriculum. And then my sister thought that was a neat idea, but like I should see what's already out there, like see if this was unique. And when I looked into it, I found the BookTube community, and like it already had a format, it already had like sort of standard things to follow and participate in. And Sana from Books and Quills was one of the first people that I found and started watching. And so I very quickly shifted what I wanted to do, or what I was planning on doing, because I was like, well, this looks fun. so that's how I got into the BookTube community, kind of by accident. My favorite horror film, I guess it depends on what you consider horror. Not all of us consider the same things. I kind of like the old Alfred Hitchcock stuff. I don't know if that's still considered horror, those like suspense things that fuck with your head, like Psycho, that kind of stuff. I would say that the horror film, like more conventional modern horror film that scared me the most was The Grudge, because I was living in a house with very similar style closets at the time, and the noises that The Grudge makes just sound like house settling noises and like water moving through pipes. So like it's one of the few horror films where I have like brought the anxiety with me beyond the watching of the film. Like I definitely buy in, I fall for everything, I'm anxious in the moment, I like totally let myself get taken in by the jump scares, and like I'm fully aware that I'm like the ideal audience member because I just so fully buy in. But like very few things stay with me afterwards, and that is one that has stayed with me afterwards. And then my favorite Stephen King book and why. So I think the one that I currently cite as my favorite Stephen King book is The Shining. Now I have only read it once. I have never reread it, and I'm a little nervous to reread it. Like it wasn't my first Stephen King book, but it's one that's become really important. Like we watch the Kubrick adaptation of The Shining every year. I'm a little worried about rereading it and the possibility of maybe not liking it, because I've heard other people read it and like other people review it and like they think it's garbage, like it's too long, nothing happens. I did really enjoy Salem's Lot. That's probably in like the top few. It's hard because the Dark Tower series very much is Stephen King, like his works in a nutshell, but also is a little bit of a deviation from everything else too. And it's definitely more like up the fantasy alley, which is something I like. So I don't know if we consider the Dark Tower series like in the same category as the rest of Stephen King's works, but I think the Dark Tower series is like actually, like having read it recently, my favorite. I think if I were to reread The Shining, which I've cited as my favorite, I would be disappointed. Jenna Joyce 02 asks, if you could be in any book, which would it be and what would you like to do in it? Also, do you have any recommendations for someone looking for an easier read? There's so many book worlds that I would like to be in. I mean, I think Harry Potter is the obvious answer. Like everybody would like to go to Hogwarts. I would like to go to Hogwarts now that like Voldemort has been defeated and the Chosen One isn't there drawing all of the terribleness to Hogwarts. I think that would be fun. I think being a student at Hogwarts would be fun. I think it would be fun to learn magic and to fly on a broom. I don't sport, but I think it would be kind of fun to try flying. Also, like being able to transfigure yourself, becoming an animagi, I think that would be super cool. What other book? Because like Harry Potter's a pretty standard answer. Ooh, I think it would also be fun to be in the Tempest and Slaughter book, because Numair is attending a magical university. Very much the same answer as the Harry Potter one. Again, I just like Tamora Pierce's world building and I would like to participate in it. And I like the magic system in that world. Obviously, I would be magic. I would have the gift and I would study magic at the university. That would also make me Carthaki though. I hope I would take the path of Numair and leave Carthaki and go adventuring in Tortal or in other places around. Do I have recommendations for someone looking for an easier read? YA is fun. I know that YA sort of has a bad rep. It's like young people's things and we don't value young people very much, especially young women. It's very much targeted at women. If you want something like very contemporary, quick read, something that you can feel you make a lot of progress very quickly with. The Hate U Give is a good one. If you're looking for like easy, like light and fluffy within YA, another contemporary is Love, Simon. It was fun. If you are looking for something that has more Harry Potter vibes, and again, I'm going with YA at first here, Akata Witch by Nnedi Okorafor has, it's been marketed and like sort of sold, it was sold to me as Nigerian Harry Potter, and I was like, done, I'm in, Nigerian Harry Potter. There isn't a boarding school, but there is a sort of, it's almost more like a master's program for learning magic with like a one-on-one relationship with a supervisor, and you have 4 students who are friends and peers within this magical study space, and they are fighting a big bad, and that is really good. I guess if you're looking for something easier that's targeted towards adults mainly, Catherine Arden's Bear and the Nightingale is really good. It's a trilogy, I believe. The 3rd book is coming out in January. That was really fun. Those are fast-paced reads. They're fantasy, but there's not like crazy George R.R. Martin level sort of world building. That can be a challenge. I don't read a lot of adult contemporary, and the stuff that I do tends to be about horrible, tragic things. I really like trauma literature. This lives on my finger forever, apparently. Alrighty, and that is actually the perfect amount of questions because I have finished carving this pumpkin. Ta-da! I have my pumpkin here. Gave him kind of a squiggly mouth because I thought that would be fun. And the eyes are a little special, but that's okay. I was trying to make him look scary, and I feel like it just looks a little bit like a demented cat, but that's okay because I still had a lot of fun doing this. Thank you guys so much for your questions. I had a lot of fun answering them. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you all have a happy and safe Halloween. If you celebrate it wherever you are in the world. If you liked what you saw here today, give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.